Greetings. Today we're in section 2 of the world which was, part 2, from 2 Peter chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. The world which was bears the marks of God's judgment upon Adam and Eve's sin. Then the focus of our study now is that the earth bears the marks of the catastrophic flood brought by God to punish man's rampant evil doings in the earth. Following the flood, we find the Tower of Babel, resulting in God confusing the language of man, then scattering them over the land mass, and then dividing it into its present configuration. We further noted that this is the second period of Earth's history, which Peter calls the world which now is, and its changes have continued to occur as God has intervened in that. For instance, the plain of Sodom, which Lot chose, became the valley of Sodom. The Dead Sea was enlarged and became the lowest point upon the earth because of God's judgment. After we finish our study of the world which was, parts 1 and 2, we will look more closely at the world which now is, and then the world which is to come, the new heavens and the new earth. So I ask, what was the transition point from the world which was to the world which now is? Well, Peter explains that it's the point when God killed the world that was by means of the great flood of Noah's day. Let me say there's very specific and significant reason why men try to deny God's hand in the beginning of creation. That is because they seek to deny God's hand in the ending of his creation. God says that you will live, you will die a physical death, and then face him in judgment. But men who desire to deny this last fact presented in Hebrews 9:27 attempt to deny the other facts which lead to its truth. God's testimony about the beginning of creation is true. God's testimony about the ending of creation is just as true. So men attempt to disprove the one concerning the beginning in order to discredit the one concerning the ending of God's creation. God created the world perfectly, ready to be inhabited, but it became without form and void because of God's judgment upon Lucifer's sin. But God restored it to its original state and continued with his plan. Then he brought a curse upon plant life, animal life, and human life because of man's sin. In a little over 1,600 years, the wickedness of man is described in Genesis 6:5 in this manner. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. So after this one worldwide flood, God promised in Genesis 9:11 through 15 to never again destroy the whole earth with water. However, 2 Peter 3 verses 7 through 9 declares that there is a reservation for a worldwide destruction by fire in the end of time to bring about the new heavens and the new earth. So let's review the theory of evolution. It is necessary in the minds of those who are willing to be ignorant of the facts, of those who are not desiring to believe that there is a God, that there is a creation by God, that there was a fall into sin by Adam's race, and that they must be saved by God's grace. There is a requirement for Christ's death, burial, and resurrection to atone for the sins of mankind. There is a word from God which teaches us of sin, righteousness, and judgment to come. God has created and is sustaining this world in order to reconcile sinners to himself. Ironically, evolution accused men of faith of using circular reasoning to justify our faith. We use the Word of God to justify faith in God, and we do. And the reason why is because Hebrews 11:6 says, "But without faith it is impossible to please him, For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is the rewarder of them that diligently seek him.